As I look into the world with the eye of an artist or with the eye of a scientist, I find that the highlight in the eye of the cow is the same as the highlight in the eye of the pig. And this highlight is also the same in the eye of the chicken as it is in the eye of the fish. This bright light is the light of consciousness. It is the cherished diamond of life that we all share. When we see that the light in our eyes is the same as the light that is in the eyes of other beings, we will naturally become respectful. As humanity has evolved, we have witnessed this growing light in people of different races, in people of different genders, and in people of different nations. And today, we need to see this beautiful and profound light in our fellow animals. The recognition of this light is the seed of nonviolence. If the world could view animals as equivalent life forms to humans, it would publicly prove that we really do have souls after all. The most ominous sight that I have ever seen is the entire world of humans collectively thinking that they are omnivores, especially when modern science has already determined that the human body is not properly suited for meat consumption. Many people are afraid to live without animals in their diet because it has been culturally implied not to be safe for one's health. If this were true, I should have been dead about 25 years ago. At one time in history, it may have been necessary for us to use our brains so we could kill animals in order to survive. And now, it is necessary for us to use our brains again, not to kill animals in order for humanity to survive. It is time for our world to think outside the factory farm. It is important to know that meat is the symbolic representation for money. Capitalism is derived from the Latin word capita, meaning head. So historically, to have capital is to own heads. Capital stands for the financial means to provide for one's family, giving families a sense of stability and security. This is why meat is generally thought of as being a sign of wealth and insinuated good health. Money is not the root of all evil. The root of all evil is the raising and killing of innocent animals for money. We have been gifted a consciousness to use for the benefit of all life, not for the benefit of our self-interest accounts. To raise animals with the intention of killing them later is premeditated murder. It is not a coincidence that the same people who told us that we must eat animals are the same people who are selling them. People choose to eat animals because they have been instructed and conditioned to do so. Just as the highly respected officers in Nazi Germany justified their actions this exact same way. There will come a day when all of us will become accountable for our actions and start to listen to the presidential address of our own hearts. I used to be baffled how it was possible that people just apathetically stood by while human beings were held in concentration camps and exterminated during the German Holocaust. Today, animals are being held in concentration camps and are being exterminated in a similar manner. And it is the deafening silence to this subject that is far worse than hate. It is the horrific sound of indifference. How can people despise Adolf Hitler for every time our carnivorous planet sits down with plates of slaughtered meats? There is a little Hitler in us in every bite. World peace is impossible by eating from plates full of violence. Peace on our plates is peace on our planet. The expression of slaughter does not disappear if the meat is artfully placed on a white plate, on a white tablecloth, and eaten with a white napkin. The clean white apron of the butcher and the white mustache, strategically applied to the famous, falsely sell the idea of purity in an industry of pure brutality. There is no difference between the infamous celebrity milk mustache and the gray aging one of Adolf Hitler. When parents prepare and feed the violence of dead animals with their children at mealtimes, it teaches them that violence is normal and necessary. And this is neither loving nor true. If we have to wash our hands with antibacterial soap after handling meat, it may be a strong indication that we might not want to be touching it in the first place. We have now reached the golden age, yet most people are still eating off of the menu from the dark ages. The synonyms for eggs, bacon, and sausage are kidnapping, rape, and murder. If humans still need an animal to be his wet nurse, we still have a long way to go to reach puberty as a species. Slavery was not good for people, and slavery is not good for animals. The well-sold religious story that animals were put on earth to serve man is as true as your purpose in life is to kiss my... Please excuse my English, my French, German, Spanish, Chinese, and so on. But to be a peaceful meat eater is like being a weekend wife beater. Since our guidance has led us to disease, pain, and pharmaceuticals, we need ourselves a different guide. It is the world's industrialized animal farms that are successfully yielding our industrialized human pharmacies. Animal grease does a great job at clogging up our kitchen sinks, but it does even a better job at clogging up a man's arteries and capillaries. Believe it or not, the bloodiest war in history is happening right now in the household kitchens of the quiet and seemingly peaceful. If you don't cook meat long enough, you get E. coli. If you cook it too long, you get cancer. And if you cook it just right, you get heart disease. It is natural to love our traditions and our traditional foods, but it is also natural to change them when they no longer serve us. There is more than enough grain grown in the world today to feed the entire world of human beings, including the 925 million starving ones. Yet the majority of this grain is fed to farmed animals, so human beings with a sense of entitlement can unnecessarily eat them. It is kind of funny that when man finally starts to eat fruits and leaves like a monkey, he will finally fully evolve into being human. What helped me become a vegan most of all was when I started to use my animal instincts. As the only time I have ever instinctively gone out of my house to kill a cow was never. To love cats but hate cows is as ludicrous as saying I love Jews but I hate Catholics. Extend the love that we have for our cats and dogs to farm animals, and help make our world a compassionate and beautiful place for all. In the history of man, it has taken hundreds of thousands of years in all of its bloodshed, oppression, and abuse to finally arrive at this great evolutionary point. At this pivotal moment, it takes 1 second to consciously choose nonviolence and become a vegan. In doing this, it will put an end to the needless suffering on ourselves, on the animals, and on our environment. Free our souls by freeing the animals from our diets. We do not need a government or a constitution to give us free speech or freedom, for we were all born with a tongue to talk, and we were born with legs to walk. We were all born with a human constitution. So let's start using it.